Okie dokie there. Camera C. Wedging table. Wedging table. John says, hello, good sir. Well, hello there, John. Let's get some of these chunks of clay. We got a large chunk, a small chunk. Let's get one that's a little bit larger. This one seems like it'd be good. The clay stash. You gotta hide it under the desk, yo. This is, I leave it out, so I let it dry for probably about, well, now it's almost like 12 hours. I let the clay just dry out, so it's a little bit harder. And then once it gets that hardness, I set it in this wet box, and that keeps it kind of consistent. Sometimes it will equalize that moisture level, so it'll go back a little bit softer, but for the most part, it keeps it pretty close to what I left it at, or what I put it in there at, and so that's always nice. That way I can always have some clay, the hardness that I like. So, but yeah, that's kind of the whole reason I do it that way. Alright, dang it, how do I get this on there? There we go. Alright. So we're gonna wedge this clay up. You can see these are the I had 2 days ago, I had a couple of failures, so I wedged that up into one big chunk. I'm just gonna slowly let that dry out a tad. But you can tell, this is probably about a little under 3 pounds here. Maybe like 2.5 pounds actually. It's really not a lot of clay. So this tree is gonna be tiny, a tiny tree. Then we got something a little bit more. This is definitely around 3 pounds. So you can see this one's gonna be a little bit larger. So here, I'll show you. Camera A. Camera A. So you can see that this one is significantly smaller than this one, right? So, the larger one. That's probably about the 3 pound one. And this one, let's see. This one feels like it will be a little bit more than 3 pounds, but after wedging it, I feel like it's actually just still right around that 3 pound range. Maybe a little bit more than 3. Love your streams. I can chill here, vibe with the music, and watch super satisfying clay. Ah, thank you, Frozen Mouse. I appreciate it. Okay. So we're gonna get this cruising here. Give us a spinny spin. Turn that on. Every day I stream a little bit differently, so it's usually whenever I have time, because I stream every day, so my work doesn't really allow me to be very loose, and so I just kind of rush whenever I can. But as time goes on, I'm almost at the end of the year of throwing every day, and when that ends, I'll probably come up with a streaming schedule. But for now, I just got to focus on finishing off this. But anyway, guys, you guys ready? Green on. Good morning, chili dogs. What you focus on grows. Let's hop on the horse. Feed them horses. 3 more pots coming your guys' way. We're gonna get into it here. We're not gonna spend too much time over here. But anyway, guys, let's get into it. Green off. Camera C. Chili dogs, yeah, it's like, what's up, dog? You know, like, what's up, bro? But a special kind of bro. A chili bro. Alrighty, a little bit of water. Alright, let's get that off. Here we go. Camera A. Pottery shelf. Camera C. Camera B. A bit of water. I wasn't active the last few trees. Did anything change about the trees? I was doing a couple of buffer trees. I don't know if you see any of those. But I was working on those ones, right? CJ hit me with the volcanoes, the rabbits, and the crown, yo. I love it. Alright, right to the bottom. Bring this up. There we go. Get some water on there. We got one more. Right down to the bottom base. Project that forward. With those thumbs, keep that top in line. Catch the clay and bring it on down. Camera A. Wheel. Ba-da-dum. 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 Right down to the bottom. Bring this up. Look at the way that right hand here, this one right here, is right in front, and I'm pushing that left hand forward right into that right hand. Going right down to the bottom here, guys. You can see, always keep it on that left side. Hammer fist coming right down on top. Walk this back towards yourself. And there we go. A little bit of water on there. Open up. Get a little pond cooking, guys. You can't, it's dry. Tapple's dried out. Get a little bit of water in there. You know, a little salt guy. Right on the inside. Open this up. Using 2 fingers, checking for those rabbits. No rabbits, great. Getting our finger hooked. Right down to the bottom here. Camera C. You can see I'm just hooking and cutting across that base. There we go. Now we're gonna make sure that we smooth out this base here. No rabbits, it's okay. Rabbits are rare to find. Alright guys, friend of the stream's coming on in. Oh, somebody already knows. Camera B. What's up, guys? It's me, Mr. Llama here. It's gonna be a good day. I can feel it in the bones. Let's start it off with a nice volcano pole. Right down to the bottom. Thank you, Mr. Llama. Wishing us some good energy. A little bit of water. Got our volcano right down. Open that up. Grab your knuckle. Push this in. Remember, first couple pulls, equalize that clay. You don't want to get height. You're going to get those walls nice and even. Color that in a little bit. Always nice to make sure that you keep that rim kind of tight inward towards that center there, right? Have you ever gotten your hair stuck in clay? I have. There's a video, I don't know when, but I have gotten it stuck in clay. I actually think I made a pottery edit video about me getting my hair stuck in clay. It sucked, let me tell you. I thought it would come out of your hair easily. No way. It is seriously, it's almost like it's like gum in your hair, you know? It just doesn't want to leave. Alright, a little bit of water. Color this in. There we go. Round that top off with that finger. A little bit more water. Here's for the height, guys. While they're all down that forearm there. Open that in. You see how it got a little bit off center wobbly? We don't even care, right? Because we're going to pull right through that. So, right at the base. Here we go, guys. Project that clay inwards slowly. With that finger on the interior up above the finger on the exterior. You find that bump. You say hello. It's that quest the clay gives you. Take me up to the top of the vessel. Make sure we maintain that bump. If we don't see it, we don't be pulling all the way to the top. Slow down. A little bit out when you go to the top here. You don't want as much tension. There you guys go. What's the biggest figure I've made throughout my career? I don't know. If you're talking about like a sculpture figure, I don't really sculpt too much, but if you're talking about ceramic like objects, maybe after firing, maybe like 30 inches. But yeah. Okay, here we go. Slow that wheel down. And we're gonna walk these up, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get some water right on this edge. We're actually gonna keep my pinkies on the inside here this time. Very slowly. Pop this out. It's getting a little bit twisty. We're going to slow that down. We don't want to twist it anymore. If I'm looking at it, do you see how the twist isn't really tight? And so I'm going to push this down, over, up, and then twist it down and set it down there, right? And that's how we're going to keep that a little bit more on center. Kind of let it settle and nest down. And there we go. And why do we have to lift it up first is because if we just twist it, it's going to twist off center, right? So we lift it up almost like a slinky. We're extending the slinky, and then we're allowing it to twist up at that base, so then it's being right on that center point there. The top's a little bit off center now, but you can see the middle is not as bendy and loose as it once was, right? All right. And slowly walking this out to the side here. There we go. You got to be careful. You can't have that centrifugal force since that top's off, right? If you spin it too fast, it's just going to wobble everywhere and then totally fall. Okay, right down to the bottom. Take your little wooden knife, and we got to make this skirt here. Keep an eye on the top, and so hopefully That centrifugal force doesn't throw it off completely here. Looks like it'll be okay. We popped up that skirt. There we go. Get a little bit of water on this top edge. We're keeping our eye on it. Do you see how at the base it's not fully settled down yet? But the twist acts as support for the vessel, right? So sometimes people ask, what's the function of these things? Well, the function is the form, right? That twist allows this top to kind of nestle. I also think it looks kind of cool like a tree. But anyway, here we go, guys. All right, 9. We're not vibing with 9s usually, right? So what we'll do is we'll emphasize the 9s. Get a little bit more of a skirt on there. I almost think it looks like a tutu for the pot. And we're gonna leave it, you know, usually we'll make petals, but these are more of like plucks, right? Where I think a tutu is a good idea, or a good word for it. We're gonna leave it just like that. Really wide on that base, kind of making that center point of the veins of the tree the focus of the pot. Anyway, guys, here we go. Camera C. We're gonna bring that right over here. Alrighty. Slide that in. If we're looking at that, it looks like we tilted it a little bit when we set it down, so make sure we kind of push that back, and then we want it to kind of wiggle it so it nestles down. But here we go, guys. We got our number 2 happening. Camera A. We got, I think it's not on the thing here, so hold on, wait 1 second. Yeah, look at that. I was totally off. Wedging table? Wedging table? Let's see, what is everybody talking about right now? Very cool, keep up the good work. Thank you. If you had an opportunity to fire pots the Native American way with burning the pots in sand and actual fire on top of it, in sand. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cultures that do all sorts of different ways of firing. Have I done like a pit fire before? Yes. You can do all sorts of things. You actually, I think in India, they actually use cow patties, or maybe some other animal, I'm not sure, maybe not cows, but some sort of animal dung, and they burn that to start their fire, and they throw hay all over top of it, so they make this huge fire, and then after they, you know, heat it up, they bury it in dirt or some sort of stone, like fine stone, to keep that heat in, and so then it slowly cools the pots. And so, kind of interesting ways that people do that, but again, round off that bottom, take your hand, project that forward. There's one. A bit more water. Project that forward. Wheel. So you can see I'm using the back of my palm there. I'm projecting that forward, and look how much it's leaning forward when I'm doing this, right? And that's how you're actually going to keep it center, is by leaning it forward. Camera B. We get a clay eating edit for today. Which one did you see? Do you remember which one you saw, or no? I had one of my clay eating edits the other day. Alrighty. I remember the Clay King when I was a few days offline. I think I have 4 clay edits out of the 135 edits that I've made. So I think I know the exact number of like the race car one where I'm eating clay and I spit out clay from my mouth. So I can do that one, but there's another one where I like seriously I'm beating up the clay and then I take a bite out of it to finish it off, and I think that one's kind of cool too. Anyway, I'm opening this up. And then something I don't want to make sure is, do you see how it almost wanted to fold there? We don't want that to fold, and we want to recombine that so then you can get that nice round donut, right? Do you see how this edge wanted to kind of like fold over? And so we push it back in and we push it straight down so then it bleeds back into the clay rather than folding. Yeah, I'll do that one right after this. How's that sound? Smoothing out that base. Guys, you guys hear that? I think the phone's ringing. Hold on, guys. Hello? Yeah? Hold on. Camera C? Hey, guys. Me, Mr. Llama. You guys ready for another volcano poll? Let's get into it. Some water on there. I'll show you guys how it works. So watch this hand and how it comes back and walks back towards me, right? It will look like it's going to the center, but it's actually kind of walking back like that. And so I'm holding that rim, and look at that left hand's pushing forward. And you see how I'm slowly bringing that back? And when you bring them across each other, it brings that inward. Camera B. So question, where do you sell your pottery? Yeah, I don't sell my pottery. Where's my... Guys, where'd I put my sponge at? What the heck's going on? Camera C. Alright, now we're on a hunt for the sponge. Dude, he's trying to get away, bro. Come on. You got work to do, Sponge. You got work to do. Alright. Camera B. My knuckle right on this base, slowly walking this in. And again, we're not trying to get height off these first couple pulls. We're trying to equalize that clay. We're going to call this base in. Always want to make sure that we keep that top rim kind of inwards. It's going to make it a lot easier to control, so there's less of that force, of the centrifugal force, acting on that clay, right? Again, right down to the bottom. Some water. Using my knuckle, again, right on this base. And when I have my knuckle down there, look at my hands. Look what my hands are doing. So if my hands are right here, you can't really see. Okay, here's my fingers, so my hand's on the inside. Here's my knuckle. And when I'm close, what I do is I don't just push into that, right? Do you see how it squeezes and squishes that clay? I'm there, and I'll move them both in like that. Then I'm bringing this inside up over top. Then I create that bump, right, in between these two fingers, and then I lift that up, right? And so I'll show you guys in a second. Knuckle. Shifting both in very slowly. Holding on. Project that little bump up over top. And then walking this up. Right? Very slow on the top. We don't want it too thin. That's been our problem recently these past couple days. But there we go. Color that in. One more time. Right down in the middle part here. I'm going to call this top part in. Sneak that finger right up over top. Round that off. There you go. Okay, one more time. Now we're going for some height, guys. Take a breath. We ask the clay, hey, Clay, you got a quest for us? The clay says, oh, yeah, I got a quest. What's the quest? Then I ask. Clay says, take this bump. Yeah, what bump? This bump? Yeah, take it to the top of the pot. We say less. Walk that up, guys, like a slug trying to find his next meal. He's a hungry slug, but he can only move at a slug speed. When you get to those thin parts, sort of dissipate that bump a little bit, slow down that wheel, finish off the pull strong. There we go, guys. Sweet. Ooh, quest complete. What's the reward? A blank vessel to work upon? Sounds good to me. All right. Take a breath. Right down to the bottom, guys. You ready? Find that rhythm, find that pattern, slow that wheel down. A little bit more, maybe. A little bit more. Maybe a little bit more. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The key is we're walking this bump up, right? So watch how we're walking this twist up the pot. Wherever it's thin, it's going to want to twist a little bit more, but we're just consistent. Slowly bring this up. We're not scared if it's starting to tilt, because as long as we have this twist kind of in there, it's going to be nice. And we're going to manually twist this one up. Looking, how does that look? Yep. Here we go, guys. So watch how this all twists up when I hold this top in, right? Try those hands off. Hold that up. There we go. Now I'm right on this top. Take my fingers. I'm slowly spreading them and moving them outwards. And there you go. I made the tree top. Kiss that rim. There we go. Oh. Okay, right on the bottom. Pushes down. And so these are some pretty tight twists that we're doing today, right? So the first one was a 5 veins twisted up, right? This is a 6 veins twisted up. And if I'm looking at this, it's pretty dense on that bottom. So let's get some long, maybe we'll do a double tendril, and we'll bring those tendrils up to try to project that upwards towards this top, because that top's a little bland, right? So let's get some more interest going on up there, okay? So first thing we gotta do, gotta pop up the skirt of the tree here. You wanna do it a little bit at a time. Too much, if the clay's too thin, it's gonna rip and buckle right on your, little knife tool here. Here we go. A little bit of water, pinky right underneath this edge, and walk this up. Okay. Grab your wire tool, slow this down, take that, pull it out. We're gonna do a double tendril. Key with the double tendril is you don't want it to feel like a pattern, you don't want it to feel like a pot. You want it to feel gestural. You want it to feel like you're baking some energy of human into the object here. And so here, we're gonna slowly twist these up, and each time we do a twist, we tack that onto the vessel. And you know what? Let's make sure we go all the way up on this side here, so it almost looks like it's holding up that tree top. So there's number 1, you'll see that in a second. So look how I kind of project that upwards, right? And maybe that one's pretty static. There's not a lot of gesture in that one. So how about we take the second one here and we make it so it interacts with that first one. Bringing that all the way over to the side here, twisting this up, pushing that on the clay, twisting it up, pushing that on the clay, twisting that up, pushing that on the clay. Over top of the other twist, going down the other twist, tucking that in. And so now we're having the tendrils play with each other on the vessel, and I just feel like it just bakes that idea of human interaction onto the pot there. So there we go. And so I almost feel like it's like doing some sort of like, it has his hand on his shoulder like this and it's thinking or something, right? But here we are. We're gonna make sure we play with this bottom a little bit here. So boom, 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 boom. There you go, a little wave. Yeah, they are friends. Friends on the vessel. Forever after they've been fired, huh? Forever friends. Take some of that water off. Camera A. Computer. All right, guys. Give me a second. I'll play that edit there. Oh, dang, I can't really remember which one it is. Oh no, guys. Why can't I remember? That's so frustrating. I feel like it's this one. Let's just try it out. Alrighty, so there you go. Do one thing first. Chill out there, don't move. Gotta turn this off. Water. Something I'm noticing too when I'm looking at the clay. Hold on. Pottery shelf. Camera C. Camera C. This is starting to get a little bit too clay-like. Take all that clay stuff, and this is how I clean a lot of my stuff, is I just fill these buckets, and I'll just take the water off the top, so all the heavy stuff goes to the bottom there, right? And that's usually how I work. Anyway, guys, here we go. Camera A. Spin. Spin. There we go. Camera C. Camera B. Push, 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 push. Get water and watch with one hand. Lock that elbow into your body and watch you just push this forward and look what happens to that clay. With one hand, you should be able to start getting it centered, right? Get some water on there. Again, right down to the bottom, one hand. Push this forward, right? Then you can always just project that downwards. You can get it pretty close to center with just one hand there, right? But when we add that second hand, that wall, this is that falcon coming down, swooping shoo, against that wall. There's a little rat on the top of the wall, maybe up here. That's what you're doing, is you're pushing it against that wall. Can't move forward, so where does it go? Only one way, upwards. There we go, guys. Get some more water. Can we get some more structure on the roots this time? Yeah, I can do that. A little bit of water. I'm gonna bring this down. It is my studio, my house. My studio is my house. And I mean that very literally. I deconstructed rooms in my house to make room for all my pots. And I don't live in a house, I live in an apartment, so don't tell my landlord. We're just kind of warming this up, you know? Say you're getting ready for a run. How many do us just go right in for the run without stretching? I'll be honest, I'm guilty of it, right? But with the clay, I feel that it needs to be warmed up. It needs to be stretched out a little bit. Because why is when you first are wedging up that clay, sometimes you don't do a good enough job, right? You're going to have that, say you leave it clay out for a little bit, that layer, that top layer, that surface, right? The skin of the clay is going to be a lot harder than that middle part, right? And so what you want to do is you want to make sure it's all equal, right? And so that's what I'm doing right now. It should be done while you're wedging, but you know, centering the clay and coning the clay up and down originally was called wheel wedging. So, all right, there we go. Rat on the Wall was the name of your band in college. I like that. That's a good name. Bring this up. Do we do one more? We gotta risk it, right? What's that saying? Risk it for the biscuit? Right on this base. So look at my thumbs. So see how my thumbs are projected upwards, and I'm pushing the clay forward as I'm bringing this up, and I'm just trying to center what's below my hands. We got to swap over to camera A. Oh my gosh, even off the camera, so tall. Hold on, I gotta bring this up, guys. There we go. Oh no. Can we tame this, dude? Okay. There we go. So do you see how I'm just picking up that wobble every time? Right into that other hand until I slowly bring this up. Wherever that wobble is, and I bring that back to that left hand, right? Get some water on there. And bring that all the way down. Dude! Clay tamer, dude. Clay tamer. Alright. Camera C. Camera C. Grab that hand. There we go. Not perfect. We gotta do one more. Project that in the middle. Slowly bring that fist out towards you. Look at that left hand. Always on that left side. Never breaking my wrist. As soon as you break the wrist, look where that pressure is coming. It's coming out this way and in this way and through the middle dead zone, right? You don't want that. You want to catch that clay as it's coming into there, that hand there. Then you're taking your fist and you're slowly walking that back towards you into that palm. That palm shouldn't be moving. And there you go. You got a nice center chunk of clay. Let's get into it. Wheel. Camera A. Thumbs projecting in, checking for those rabbits. I think we're gonna have some rabbits, maybe. I can feel some air bubbles. Let's see if we can pop them when we open this up here. Nope. But using my fingers as a hook, using the tips of my fingers to cut through the clay. Don't pull out all that clay. That's a lot of clay to move, especially when you start working with larger amounts of clay. This is still, I would say, like smaller amount of clay, to be honest. But once you start getting to those large amounts of clay, like, you know, 25, 50 pounds of clay, you really want to cut through that clay rather than try to move all that weight, right? Here you go. Guys, you guys know what time it is? Hold on, guys. I think I dropped something over here. Camera C? What's up, guys? It's Mr. Llama with a mustache. Today was a good day. A lot of good volcanoes. Let's get into our last volcano pull of the day. Camera B. Dude, I can't believe Llama had a mustache, bro. That was crazy. It's been less than 30 minutes since well, I guess maybe less than 15 minutes since we last saw Llama, and he grew a whole mustache, bro. Time moves differently for Llama. Llama grew a mustache, that's why. So funny. Alright, grabbing your knuckle. Again, What's that first pull for? The first couple pulls is all for equalizing that clay, right? Don't try to get height out of the first couple pulls. People, I think, try to get height right away, and they make it way too thin on the bottom, and then their pots just rip all the time at the bottom, right? Try to equalize it first, right? A little bit at a time. Walk it up, right? A little bit more water. You might say, dang, Pottery Demon, you use so much water. I do. But my clay is also a lot stiffer than normal. That was the biggest shift I made. As soon as I started working with a lot stiffer clay, everything got a whole lot easier. So if you're struggling, just use some stiff clay. Let it out for a little bit. Okay. Call this in. Llama Mustache is a name of your band in college. So funny, yo. How many bands do you have? I don't know. Sometimes if a band doesn't work out, you gotta change the name. Alright. Reach that base, slowly shift that in, and again, very slow on that base. We don't want to move it too much, but if we're slow, we're trying to equalize those walls and get them realigned. We're going to lessen that bump, so see how that bump is disappearing on the top? Because it's thinner there and I don't want to thin it out anymore, right? There you go. So that, whenever you're trying to make cylinders, guys, just make volcanoes first, right? People will try to bring all that clay inward at that base, really narrow, to get tall, but it's actually, you want to go wide first and then bring in that base, right? It's not start with a larger or higher amount of clay. You want it flat and low so you can bring that out and wide and then up, then that base in. If you start tall, you know, I shouldn't say, for beginners, I feel like it's easier for me to go wider on that base, right? Because what I think happened is when people see like the Korean potters, you know, they open up their clay like this tall, they'll just stick their hand right down the middle. You know, they're pretty specific in making sure that they have a bottom base to start their pulls from. A lot of people I see have these rounded bottoms and then they miss all that clay there, and then it just gets off center every single time they start a new pull, right? Okay, here we go, guys. Also, I want to make sure I tuck this in a little bit on this rim, because sometimes if on the rim, I feel like it gets a little bit too compressed and too hard to push through, so I'm going to thin that out just a tad. All right, right down to the base one more time. That's that clay for the quest. Chill out down there. Slowly walk that finger on the inside up above the finger on the exterior. Find that bump. And slowly walk that up. I'm getting really, really thin, but I'm going to maintain that bump all the way to the top. We're going to go out wider on the top so we have less tension on the bottom. And there we go. And I found that usually if I go wider on the top, it's going to help out with the tree, so there's less tension there, right? Okay, here we go. Get that water out of that base. All right, here we go, guys. Are you ready? Take a breath. 'Kay. We're slowly gonna hold our fingers on this interior here. Stop. Kiss that rim. And so this is a lot looser of a twist. We'll see how much that stays. I'm getting a little bit thin, so it's wanting to move away, right? But instead of manually doing the twist, I'm just allowing that torque from the top. Twist that up naturally, right? Keeping an eye on that top, because if it wants to tip over, we got to get ready to catch it, right? the thing with these is instead of wanting to buckle when these are twisted up, it actually wants to fall over like as if it was a real tree, right? So again, I'm being pretty slow on this base. And so somebody said they wanted me to do more of a playground on this bottom here, so I'll do some more tendrils here. Slowly popping this wall up. And so I'm seeing that it's leaning to one side, so how about let's do a double tendril, but let's have two of them, let's swap the wheel turning to that side. Look at how it's wanting to lean over, guys. Chill out. A little shaky shake. Okay. I'm gonna take my pinky. I'm gonna bring this up. Okay, which side is it leaning over? On this side? So we'll start from here. Alright, so here we are, cutting across, ending right where that seems to want to be twisting, and then we're out of the clay, just like that, okay? And so now, what is this? The wheel spinning the other way? What the? Oh my gosh, okay? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold our wire like this, and now we're gonna cut across, and then slowly spin this up, and we want it to end in that near that same area, and then we're out of the clay. Nice. Okay, so first tendril, we're actually gonna spin them both up the same way, but we're gonna start with this one first, and you'll see how it looks at the end here in a second. Oh my gosh. Guys, listen to this song right now. We gotta play along with some clay music here. Alright, we gotta get the bigger whistle. And you guys thought we were done? You thought we were only playing wind instruments over here? No way. You thought it was a shaker? It's a bell. I gotta bring in some of my instruments, so. Alrighty. Back on the vessel. Sorry guys, I had to jam out. Hold on, I gotta bring this back around. Oh my gosh, guys. Look at the way this is looking over here. Ooh! I don't know what's going on this side, but I think I'm liking it. I feel like this gives it a direction, like you have to look at it from one side. It's the same thing when that top rim wants to dip on over, like if it collapses. I've always thought that, you know, one thing that's kind of odd to me about a lot of ceramics is that nothing changes when you spin the object around, right? If you get a perfectly centered object, it just feels so bland. That's my personal opinion. And so something I like is when you give pots a direction to be viewed. And maybe over here where there's nothing, maybe I'd add a little speck of another glaze so it's a little surprise for the viewer. Everybody's lured over by all this action that's happening here, but the real gold is right where nothing's happening, right? So here we go. Wobble this up like a little wave. There we go. Right down to the bottom. Have the sponge right down here. Lifting up that skirt. There we go, guys. Camera A. Goated 1. Good. Chill out, bro. Come on. Stay still. Alright, guys. You guys know what's happening next. You guys really need to send me over some energy. I gotta use all my super secret powers to shrink myself down. And I really need some help with that. So send me some energy. I'd really appreciate it. That way I can make sure... hello? I can't really see what you're doing, so turn. There we go. Do we like that a little bit better? I think that will look nice. Okay. I think I need this a little bit more like that. Oh, I think we're cooking. Send me that energy, guys. I need it. Green on. Dang it, guys. Not enough energy. Charge it more. Green on. What the heck? Here we go, guys. So this is a kind of an interesting set. We did 2 double tendrils today, acting in a little bit differently though. So we'll start off with these ones and then we'll move over to the one on the top. So why do I think they're different? Well, first, this is functionally twisted, all right? The function of bringing that top out. The whole entire middle part of the trunk is twisting up naturally. This is a forced twist where I'm holding that and then twisting the wheel, so it's a lot tighter on this one. So I gotta get that out of the way first. Second, you'll see that this is cut in the same direction and I'm having one come across the vessel to meet the other one. This one over here, we have both tendrils on the same side. How are we doing that? Where they're swapping the wheel's direction, and so that we can bring both tendrils over to both one point and have them interact with each other on that one side there. Always thinking that when you break away from the tendrils functioning as a pattern and they start being a lot more gestural, I feel like it brings a whole new element, maybe a tad bit of sculpture into the realm of pottery, right? Anyway, guys, we got the one on the top here. The one on the top I think is the actual winner of today. You know, normally I don't like just the general tutu skirt on the top, but I think if you look at these other two and you look at the top one, look at the contrast that we're getting in this vessel. So wide out on the bottom, really tight. It's the most tight and twisted up veins of the tree trunk that we have out of this set here. And then gently a little bit wide and then curling back in toward the top. Feels very balanced. I like the look of it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. All the best, strong mentality. Let's wheel. All right, guys. Woo. Thank you, guys. Maybe we can set this one over here, actually, so that way I can sit down. Chill out. Green off. Okay. Calm down. You guys can't really see what I'm doing, but get that out of here. Alrighty. I love the structure of that one. Insides look like eternity. Interesting. Gives energy. Ooga booga energy ritual. Thank you. Thank you guys for the energy. How to strengthen nervous system? I don't know what you mean by that. Like, are you saying how do I not get nervous? I'm nervous the whole entire time I do these. I'm super, even though I seem very extroverted, I'm like such an introvert. But I practice this every day, so I've gotten, you sit in the abyss long enough, and your eyes start adjusting to the darkness, right? And you feel comfort there, right? All right. Somebody said left one is cool. The left one was this side. This side. Oh, so you like the one where it wrapped around? Yeah, I like that one. That was a nice one. Somebody said, guys, only 28 likes today. Hey, it's no worries. The only reason I had that big boom was that one video that I made, and it's been a couple weeks since I posted that one, and it had its arc of views, and so that's died down. So I'm not too worried about not having a lot of viewership now, So it's all good, really. It's no worries. Somebody said bye trees. Indeed, but we'll be back tomorrow. Somebody said good night. Yep, thank you for stopping in, Sonny. What's your favorite part of the tree making process? The fact that I don't like to do it, but I do it anyway, right? I always think that there's this one quote, it's like, do the things you hate like you love it, right? And I totally take that seriously. And, eventually the trees started at the beginning, they had no value to me, right? Like no tangible value. But when I started doing it over and over again, it was like throwing a little snowball down a hill, right? It started building up that value until now I have this big boulder of value that's in my life, and now I just can't stop. So I think that's my favorite part about it. It's almost like you're building your own confidence, right? But anyway, guys, I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much for watching. Computer, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.